Hello, everybody. How are y'all? I hope y'all had a good New Year's. Sorry if I sound a little and look a little off. I've been having some fun sinus issues. I currently can't hear out of this ear, which is more than exciting. I also was up really early for inventory, so I have tired face, and I will probably be taking a nap after this, because I have gotten a crap ton done today. I'm very proud of myself. Um, okay. So, this is going to kind of be a catch-up video, as well as a big announcement at the end. Woo! Alright, so, first things first, I got two late Christmas presents that I wasn't expecting. One I literally got, like, 2 seconds after I finished the last video. So the first thing I'm going to do is give a shout out to them. The one I got literally right after the video was the Prairie Schoolers' Night Before Christmas. This has always been one of my favorite Christmas songs when I was little, and I think we still have it somewhere. We had a pop-up book from Hallmark that I absolutely loved. I don't know why I had the slightly disgusted face, because I loved it. I've always loved pop-up books. Like, in general, pop-up books are awesome. And we had a Night Before Christmas one that I absolutely loved. And so I've always really liked the story. Don't like the Rankin Bass cartoon, for those who remember it. Never really understood why it was called Night Before Christmas when it didn't follow the poem. But then again, how would you take that short a poem and make it into a full-length feature? Although it wasn't really full-length, I think it was like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Anyway, I know there was a mouse and a dude, and that's all I remember, other than not really enjoying it all that much and having to sit through it to get to better stuff on the tape. How's that? So I got that from my friend Rick, who was one of the first Stitchers I really kind of met. I met him doing my first gift exchange. And I feel guilty that I did not have a chance to get anything for him yet. I will. The financial drama of December is finally over. That's its own story. Suffice to say, and this is a good general throwing of this out there, if any of you, because I know some of you are parents of kids, some of you might be looking at going to college, if you have to get a private student loan, do not get it with Wells Fargo. Trust me. Anyhow, so got me the chart and I don't know if you can tell, but it's on 28 count Jobelin and the floss for it. So I have to decide if I'm going to do the one big one or if I'm going to do the 4 small ones. Oh, sorry. The big one or the 4 smalls. It's going to kind of depend if I can do the 4 big. If I can do both, that would be fantastic. But we shall see. Alright, so that's part 1. Then I got from my friend Lisa, who was the one who got me into the Samsara stitch-along, found a tacky bob that's actually kind of masculine. Not because I particularly like the masculine things, but I'm not big on daisies. I like daisies, don't get me wrong, daisies are nice, but I didn't want a little thing with daisies on it, or pink hearts, or I really wanted something a little more simple, and so this was actually really perfect. And if you don't know, a tacky bob is a thing for beads. It's sticky, and I could show you this all I wanted, and since you can't touch it, you're just going to have to take my word that it's sticky. But it holds beads in place to make beading easier. And then she found this little needle minder with the Oz characters on it. So, yeah, that's awesome. I've been using that. So there's that. I have a new start. I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep up with it or not. It is the Freedom Blackwork by Seba Designs. That's how far I've gotten. I started this on New Year's. I really did enjoy doing the little red square, but I found the rest of it super tedious. So, we'll see. I may keep up with it, I may not. I at least have it started. It may be one of those things that I use as like oh, I've been working really hard on this project, I need to take a day's break, because it's something I can really kind of pick up and go back to. So we'll see what happens with it. I did finally, I think, mention that I rescued one of the floss colors from my grandmother's. So I was able to work more on the Lizzie Kate. Still not done with part 1. It's coming very slow, very steady, but it's coming. But I did get the bee done, and 2 flowers, and all of that, and I got this part here done, the flowery vine part here I got done. So I've really got quite a bit of part 1 done. I have, I think, 3 more flower brooms, the pot, and then some bordery stuff to do, and then I can move on to part 2. So it's just a matter of keeping myself going on it, which it may be actually what I work on next, because I've got to take a minor break, but from what I did next. Now, the next thing I've done is my Once Upon a Time, which is the one you've seen coming along all along. It's getting there, slowly but surely. So, as you know, I did finish... I'm going to adjust this a little bit. I have started doing the border as I go along. So my border is complete to all the squares I've done. I don't remember if I showed it, so I'll briefly show it, because I feel like I did. I did do The Princess and the Pea into April, which meant that June became Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. Now, I will apologize. That one is a technical finish. And I don't mean it in the way that a lot of these have been technical finishes, where I've got 3D elements I'm going to be adding to once the actual thing is done, and I can basically take it off Q-snaps, because I discovered that Q-snaps are not good with 3D things. This is a technical one in the sense that I ordered a specific floss to use on Goldilocks' hair. And it's a Dragonfly Lotus, and I'm just waiting on it to arrive. I don't know why I'm playing with my hair. I'm really not happy with how my hair looks. This is awful. Please don't judge me for my hair today. That was off topic. Anyhow. So she currently is being portrayed a la Susan Powter. When was the last time you heard a Susan Powter reference? There were a couple of things I did to shift. I did my usual changes. I made her look a little bit like Tatum O'Neal in Fairy Tale Theater. Try to get that in close enough. I gave polka dots to Papa Bear's bow tie, which didn't quite work as well as I thought, but it worked. I did outline Mama Bear's bow, partially because the pink against the light background wasn't showing up too well. I added a pillow to the bed. One of the probably biggest changes I did was I switched the purple bowl of porridge and the Z's. Mainly because I felt like the Z's were distracting from the June. So I moved that up there. And then I was so proud of myself. I finally mastered French knots. Yeah, I was thrilled. I nearly peed a little. And then I told everybody, including, I think, using the exact phrase, I just made French knots my bitch. So I put little berries in the porridge. See? And, yeah, so there are berries in their porridge. I don't know if berries go in porridge. I know porridge is like oatmeal, and some people think it's a good idea to put berries in that, and berries, I don't know, it sort of made sense. Personally, I only like oatmeal if it's very thick and has lots of brown sugar and lots of agave nectar. So those were the changes I did there. Oh, I also did, thanks to a suggestion from A Stitch in Time, I changed the little bee trail to back stitches, and it doesn't show up at all really on video camera, but I promise you there's back stitching there. And I really liked that idea. And then I took the grass idea from from Christy Harris, who several of the changes you're going to see over the next couple were ideas she had that I really liked that I appropriated into my own. In fact, Cinderella is basically going to be a complete, and to a degree, Rapunzel are both going to be kind of ripoffs of hers, but the other two were kind of, actually, December, she and I sort of discussed together. I don't want to take full credit for it, but a couple of the ideas I feel like she might have said, oh, hey, I like that idea, and incorporated. Or she might have not, I don't know, but sort of in tandem there, I feel like. And then I got, and this one actually, I was dreading this one, which is funny. The two that took me the longest were Frog Prince and Birmingham Musicians. Those just took me for frickin' ever. And I like the Birmingham Musicians. It just, for whatever reason, that one just sort of was not fun to work on. I was dreading Thumbelina. Absolutely dreading it. I've never been a big fan of the story. I really, with the exception of two people, dislike the mid-90s animated one. I don't know what Jodie Benson is doing, but she really is not doing herself any favor with that. But I do like Charo, mostly because it's Charo, and it's a frog version of Charo, which is about as hilarious as you would expect it to be. And then the mouse is voiced by the ever-wonderful, always perfect Carol Channing. So Thumbelina, I was kind of dreading. But it ended up being a ridiculously fast stitch. I started it on Friday, and I finished it about an hour and a half ago. And I didn't get a lot of stitch time yesterday. So here is Thumbelina. Christy had the idea of making her look like Jodie Benson in the cartoon, which, while I dislike the cartoon, I can get behind. Especially since I've kind of been doing that with all the others, making them look like their cartoon selves, or like other... What am I doing here? There we go. Like other representations of themselves. And then I don't think it was her, but someone else did the water lilies. And I really liked the water lilies. I liked the butterfly. I had to change the white to a yellow. Because, again, white on this fabric just doesn't really show. So the wings are actually yellow and pink, and I went with a lighter pink to go with the lighter yellow. It doesn't show up too well. I tried to go over them with metallics, and the metallics were just lost. So I was like, you know what, why am I doing all this headache stuff if you can't tell? But the antenna are the metallic light effects that match this. And the actual balls on the antenna are French knots, because I know how to do French knots. French knot dance. Ooh, ooh, French knot dance. So what I did was I didn't really like... I didn't like the fish, and I didn't like the over-under effect the original chart had, of where it was a blue block and then this row with the fish. And while, yes, the fish are the part of this story that's important, I thought, you know what, I'm really just not digging the whole fish thing. And in fact, for a long time, I agonized, as I mentioned in my last video, over the water, and then Stitch in Time can vouch that I went on and on and on about how do I handle the water? Do I want to do full blocks? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Do I want to do this? Is this going to look good? I took pictures and kept sending. Does this look okay? Do you think I need to do something here? I don't, while this was a fun stitch, that water was a little bit like an albatross, right around my neck. So I ended up doing it. It's actually Weeks Dye Works Sky, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I did a little bit of back stitching on the lily pad. So those are the real changes there. And then I brought in, since I added another water lily, and then I brought in more banks with more of the cattails / pussy willows. I always feel really weird saying pussy willow, but I've never really heard cattail get used that often. So those things. So that's July. So we're down to the last 4 of Once Upon a Time. My goal, I'm not going to make it. I genuinely don't think I'm going to make it. Simply because there are 11 days until the next part comes out, and of the 4 I have left, 2 of them have 2 sections of border, and they have a lot of color fill. I don't mean like big blocks of color, but there's a lot in them, and there's not a lot of things you can delete out of them. So that's kind of where I stand on that. So I should finish it by the end of the month. I really was hoping I could get it done before Storytime came out, but unless I miraculously get an extra few days off work, which I know I won't, it's probably not going to happen. Just realistically not going to happen. Still a goal. I would like to get it done by the 15th, but I will get it done by the 31st. Come hell, high water, or potato chips. I don't know. So those are my 2 works in progress that I've worked on. I do need to get back to Poe. It's been a while. I've got some things kitted up. I did at least Bobbinate 4 Seasons by Lizzie Kate, which Kimmy was thrilled to hear. So those are sort of in the pipeline of what's coming. One of my plans for one of my next videos is a little bit of detail on how I go about making alterations to things. Because several people have commented on that. I did go ahead, since there was seemingly an overwhelming amount of, yes, do this, I did go ahead and start a blog. I actually started it on New Year's Eve, but I wanted to wait to really start publicizing that I had a blog until I'd actually gotten a couple of posts written and together. So right now, it's all just completion things. I've still got, I've still got the Samsara and the Lizzie Kate Snowy String. I think that's actually it for my completed ones. I think everything else... Oh, and my Ho Ho Ho. Everything else, honestly, have been works in progress or just the mini blocks. I'm actually going to wait to go into all of my details on Once Upon a Time when it's all done. So I wanted to get some actual things written that you could read and see. And then I'll start doing more of my like works in progress. I'll show some of those things, talk about some of that there. I don't want to get it to the point though where I don't want the blog to be replacing FlossTube. So I don't know how much works in progress I'm going to do on it. I may show off like when I'm starting it, but we'll see. I'll definitely use it always for my completions, and probably for some tutorials, largely because I don't have the capabilities to do like a video tutorial. I don't have a way to take multiple videos and edit together. I probably could figure something out, but I really don't care enough. I know I don't mean to like say that I don't care about showing people how I do things. I just don't want to spend that much time or energy on it, which probably makes me sound bad. And if it does, I'm sorry. But I really enjoy more of this sort of thing than doing a video how-to. So maybe I'm a terrible person. Maybe I'm not. We'll see. Anyhow, so that's kind of it. So I do have a few changes for Rapunzel plotted. And I'm thinking about going back and doing a few things to Jack and the Beanstalk. I mostly like it the way it is. I feel like there's some things I could clean up a little bit. And then I think with I, I think with the Frog Prince, I'm going to change her dress to look more like Tiana's. And I think I may also change her cheek color so that she doesn't quite look weird. I think it kind of looks weird. And I'm debating a little bit with my January. I may do something to it, too. Because it doesn't quite match with the rest of it. But we'll see. So, yeah. So, that is my update du jour. So with that, I will leave you. I will say, for those who are doing the Once Upon a Time, you can see how far I am, and I'm about to have to change over to the second skeins of Blackberry and Merlin. So it does definitely require 2. I know sometimes you get a chart that'll say, oh, you need 3 of this, and you can get away with 2. This one is definitely one where you need both skeins. So, yeah. Hope everyone's having a great week. And I will see y'all later. I, idiot here, talked about creating the blog and then didn't actually say. The blog is the coffeestitcher.wordpress.com. I will include a link down below in the notes section. It is the Coffee Stitcher because Coffee Stitcher was already taken. And since I can't fathom who else would be Coffee Stitcher other than me, and I'm the most important one, clearly, duh. So I'm the Coffee Stitcher. The Coffee Stitcher. So that one is definitely mine. So yeah, I will see y'all soon. Oh, pardon me on. That's a great way to end the video.